Welcome to The Opposing View, the podcast where structured disagreement meets urgent global questions. In each episode, two voices, grounded in science and evidence, take opposing sides on a single pressing idea. No interruptions, just a clear motion, and 2 rounds of serious civil disagreement. Today's motion: water scarcity will have a devastating impact on multiple world regions within the next 10 years. Will collapsing aquifers and drying rivers reshape geopolitics, migration, and agriculture? Or are we overstating the near-term risk, underestimating human adaptability and technology? Let's meet today's experts. Arguing in favor of the motion is Dr.Reema Thakur, a hydrologist and advisor to a global water program. Her work focuses on groundwater depletion, regional drought modeling, and water governance across Asia and Africa. Opposing her is Dr. Julian West, a resource economist and senior fellow to an international policy institute. He specializes in water infrastructure investment, desalination, and economic resilience in arid zones. Two credible voices, one critical question. Let's begin round 1. Dr. Thakur, you may start the debate.
Thank you, John, for your kind introduction. Let me cut through the chase. The warning signs are no longer distant. They are unfolding in real time. Across the globe, groundwater is vanishing. Satellite data from NASA's GRACE mission shows that 21 of the world's 37 major aquifers are depleting faster than they can be replenished. In India, farmers in Punjab and Haryana are drilling deeper every year. Some bore wells now reach over 300 meters. In Iran, nearly 2/3 of aquifers are in severe overdraft. And in the American Southwest, the Colorado River Basin, which supplies 40 million people, has seen flows decline by 20% since 2000. This is not just about agriculture. It's about urban water supplies collapsing, food prices rising, and fragile states falling into conflict. Already, Cape Town came within days of day zero in 2018, where municipal water would have been shut off. São Paulo and parts of Mexico are following a similar path. UNICEF projects that by 2030, over 700 million people could be displaced due to water scarcity. And the World Bank has warned that water stress could reduce GDP by up to 6% in some regions by 2050. These are not speculative projections. They are based on hydrological modeling, satellite data, and field reporting. Technological fixes like desalination or drip irrigation cannot offset widespread aquifer collapse. They're expensive, unevenly distributed, and often politically inaccessible to the regions most at risk. The coming decade will define the trajectory. Without immediate governance reform and resource allocation, water scarcity will not just stress societies, it will fracture them.
A sobering forecast from Dr. Thakur, one grounded in the slow violence of ecological depletion. But are the risks overstated? Is water scarcity better understood as a solvable infrastructure problem rather than a looming catastrophe? To argue the contraside, here is Dr. Julian West.
Thank you, John. Water scarcity is real, but inevitability is not. Throughout history, human societies have responded to water stress not with collapse, but with innovation. Israel, Jordan, and parts of the Arabian Peninsula are already water scarce, and yet they thrive through aggressive investment in desalination, recycling, and precision agriculture. Saudi Arabia's Ras Al Khair plant now produces over 1 million cubic meters of potable water per day. Singapore recycles over 40% of its water, In California, once plagued by drought, has invested billions in groundwater banking and reuse technologies. What's more, global agricultural output has grown faster than water consumption over the past decade, thanks to improved irrigation efficiency and drought-resistant crops developed by institutions like the CGIAR. The World Economic Forum now ranks water stress as a manageable mega-risk. Serious, yes, but embedded in solvable infrastructure and governance challenges. Also, let's be clear, climate models show regional stress, not universal devastation. Yes, parts of the Sahel and South Asia will struggle, but many regions, including North America, Northern Europe, and parts of East Asia, will remain water secure or adapt through trade and technology. And the most frequently cited projections of 700 million displaced people are worst-case extrapolations, not core UN forecasts. In the next 10 years, we will see hardship, but the picture is one of asymmetry, not collapse. The framing of devastation removes agency and underestimates the adaptability of markets, governance, and engineering.
Two compelling arguments, one rooted in systemic urgency, the other in historical adaptability. Now we turn to round two, rebuttals, a chance for each expert to directly engage with their opponent's claims. Back to Dr. Thakur.
Dr. West speaks of adaptation, but adaptation is uneven. Yes, Singapore and Israel are models, but they are wealthy, centralized, and compact. Try replicating that model in northern Nigeria, in Yemen, or rural Pakistan, where infrastructure is fragmented and governance unstable. Desalination is energy-intensive, emits brine pollutants, and is inaccessible to landlocked regions. And groundwater banking requires institutional trust and geological capacity, both of which are scarce in fragile regions. Moreover, relying on crop yield per drop ignores the collapse of traditional rain-fed systems and the death of smallholder farming, which still feeds 2 billion people. Resilience is not the default. It's the result of political will, planning, and equity, all of which are in short supply, where water scarcity hits hardest.
A pointed challenge to the assumption that innovation scales universally. Let's now hear from Dr. West.
Dr. Thakur is absolutely right that inequality defines exposure, but that doesn't prove inevitability. The challenge is not physical water scarcity, it's economic water scarcity. And that is addressable with funding, trade policy, and multilateral coordination. For example, the African Development Bank has expanded its rural water program to over 30 million people. India's Jal Shakti Abhiyan is restoring over 100,000 traditional water bodies. Yes, smallholders are vulnerable, but resilience can be localized with borewell regulation, farmer co-ops, and weather-indexed insurance. We're not seeing universal collapse. We're seeing divergence. And divergence invites targeted solutions, not fatalism.
What we've heard today is not a disagreement over whether water scarcity exists, but over what it means. Is it a structural crisis that outpaces our capacity to respond? Or is it a pressure point that drives ingenuity and reform? As always, you decide. Let us know in the comments. Did either side change your view? What does real resilience look like in your region? And what risks should we be preparing for next? Until next time, stay critical, stay curious,